Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well. So today we have another video and this video is the first video in our new playlist. The playlist is called Research Papers, where we will summarize, explain and teach some research papers for sure related to computational biology, bioinformatics, or computational genomics. Okay, so instead of going and reading the research papers of others, PhD students, for example, it's a bit hard. So in this playlist, I will share with you the knowledge I learned or I've understand from certain research paper. So as I already mentioned, this is the first video in this playlist and we will do other playlists for sure, and we will put videos randomly in these playlists. So if you want to watch anything, just go to the playlist place and then you will find a lot of them and choose which one you want to watch. Okay, so in this research papers we will talk about DeepECTransformer, but before this we will respond to 5 questions. Okay, and during the responses to these 5 questions we will learn and we will summarize the knowledge exists in this research paper, and as well you will find the link of this research paper in the bio or in the first comment, so anyone who wants more details or wants to read it by his own, you can find it there, and good luck. Let's start with the first question. Why do many genes still have a known function, even in organisms that have been studied for decades? Even we discovered the biology science for a long time ago, we still have a lot of questions that have no answer. Okay, we still struggle, we didn't understand a lot of things, why they work this way, not this way, what's their function, etc. And in this case we will talk about genomics. Genomics is one of the most important part of biology that we should study, because biology is simply the future of any organism. It tells you what's gonna happen in the future. Okay, it comes from your past and it tells you what's going on, what will happen in your future. Okay, but the issue here is that genomics is a very long thing. Okay, there is, I don't know, billions of letters there, and there is thousands or millions of genes that we still haven't known their function yet. Okay, and this makes us not certain of a lot of things. Okay, so the question here tells us, why do many genes still have a known function, even in organisms that have been studied for decades? So the question here tells us there is some organisms that we have studied for decades, their genomics, their genes, and we still don't know their function yet. Not all of them, but most of them. The answer here is the problem exists in the way, the method, the technique, the biology the researchers do in the lab. The traditional way they use to discover the function of certain genes is very, very traditional. It's very limited, okay? It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of things, okay? So to discover the function of a gene, it maybe takes days, weeks, months, or maybe years, okay? So this is the issue here. If we still use this method, this limited method, we will never, never know or discover the function of all genes we have in all organisms. Because there is also one issue here is that we are on evolution. This means our genomics, our genes changed over time. Okay? So there's always challenges. So this is the answer. The answer is that we need other way, other techniques to discover these genes and not use the traditional way. There is one technique that they are using, one of the traditional techniques is that if they discover the function of gene X and they are studying a gene Y, okay, they know the function of gene X, but they don't know the function of gene Y. One of the techniques they use is that if the amino acids, the sequence of amino acids in the gene Y seems like the one we have in gene X, they pretend or they say the gene Y had the same function as the gene X. And this is a very bad way to use it, in fact, because it's very limited. Okay? There is a lot of bad things happen when we use this technique. Okay, so that's it. Let's move on to the second question. Can AI predict the function of a protein using only its amino acid sequence? Here we introduce the AI, artificial intelligence. Can we use it? The question asks, can we use it to predict the function of a protein using only its amino acid sequence? The answer is basically yes, we can use it because, as we all know, AI is any AI model we use it to, or we teach it, okay, millions or billions. We train it on billions of data related to what function he will do in the future. For example, if we want to create or to innovate an AI model who can gives us the difference between a real image and fake image, maybe image generated by AI. The first thing we do to create this AI model is that we train it on billions of data related to this topic. For example, if we work on the example I just mentioned, we train it on billions of images of real images and fake images generated by AI. And by itself, It can learn if this image is related to AI or generated by AI or it's real. Okay? This is the way we use. And the same here, if we want to create or to use, or sorry, to generate an AI who can predict the function of a protein using only its amino acid sequence, we can use an AI and we train it on billions of proteins and known proteins function with their sequence of amino acids, and then by the time it can predict for us, we can give it a known protein, okay, and we give it only its amino acids, the sequence of amino acids, and it can tell us if it's and it gives us the function of it. Okay, so AI can do something here. Okay, because AI learns patterns that is related or exists between these data that we give it. In this example, it's amino acids. It can learn the patterns exists between amino acids. This is the power of AI. So this is the answer. Yes, it can. Now let's move on to the third question. What's the DeepECTransformer? Here we are. And how does it use transformer-based deep learning to annotate enzymes? So what is DeepECTransformer? DeepECTransformer is an AI model, okay, trained on billions of amino acids with known proteins functions. Okay, we give it a protein function, a protein, its function, and the sequence of its amino acids. This is what we give it, and we give it billions of these examples. Okay, and then in the future, as I already mentioned, he can learn the patterns, and then in the future we have a ready AI model that can help us to know the function of unknown proteins only based on their amino acid sequence. That's it. If you want to know how does it really works, how does it really works on the microscopic echelon, I don't know if it's correct or not. Okay, how does it works really? One by one, you can learn about it. You can do your research and then you will find. I'm here just telling you the idea, just gives you that there is something here, and then you can go and search, because we are all researchers here. To know something, you should learn about it. You should search about the information. If you search about the information, you will remember it, you will understand it well, and you can teach it to others. But if you just listen to someone talks, and for example, if you have a teacher and you are waiting to give you all things, all the informations, it never happened. Okay, you should learn by yourself. You should go and search for informations. This is how you will improve yourself and improve your knowledge. Trust me, guys. So that's it. Let's move on to the third question. How did the researchers prove that the model's predictions were actually correct? Here is the key point. AI can predict the function of unknown proteins. Okay? But the thing is that we should go and see if it's correct or not. Okay? And this is what researchers did. They don't just create the AI model, because creating the AI model is something, and verifying the outputs it gives you is something else. Okay, so the researchers didn't just create the AI model, but they verified if these things is correct or not, because they used this AI model, DeepECTransformer. They gives it some unknown proteins function, okay, or enzymes function, and it gives them the function. And instead of trusting it and just move on to other things, they do an experiment in the lab and they see if the prediction of the AI is correct or not. And what they found is that it's 99% correct. So the AI model don't lie in this case. So yeah, this is a good thing. This is a very big innovation development in this field, because instead of taking maybe months, as I already mentioned, or years, decades to know the function of a known protein or enzyme, you just use AI model and it can give it to you in minutes, maybe hours, it doesn't matter. But it's still faster than the traditional way people or researchers, biology researchers, are using. So yeah, this is incredible. Let's move on to the last question. What does this study tell us about the future of genomics, bioinformatics, and AI-driven biological discovery? So what does this study tell us about the future of genomics or bioinformatics or any field related to this? Is that AI is doing a big improvement in this field, and the people who will get rich in the future and will discover really better things and important things with big value is that people who works on the intersection of AI and biology in the future, because this is the future. The traditional way is not, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, we should introduce and we should use AI in these fields. Okay, it will help us and it will it's gonna be very helpful and it's gonna help us to don't spend our time in the traditional way. Okay, but this doesn't mean we don't need researchers, human researchers anymore, and AI will do everything. No, we will need humans, because I believe that when AI is coming right now, it will remove a lot of jobs, but it will create a lot of other jobs. So the people who don't know how to use AI, they will leave their job. Okay, but the ones who know how to use AI and combining it with their past knowledge, they will have new job. Okay, it's all about your mind, it's all about your mindset, it's all about how you think, and do you have fixed mindset or what we call the I forget the term. We have fixed mindset and we have grow mindset. Sorry, we have grow mindset. If you have grow mindset, AI will never replace you and it will never take your job. Because if you have growth mindset, you will go and you will learn about new technologies, how to make your job easier, how to use new technologies, and you make the values and the outputs you have correct. Okay, with big uncertainty, certainty, excuse me. Okay, so that's it. It's all about learning AI. How does it works? Not only here we have something to mention. When I say, or when I said you should learn how to use AI, I'm not talking about chatting with ChatGPT, because this is not using AI. You are consuming AI. Okay, learning or using AI, it means you learn how does this AI works. What is AI? What is machine learning? What is deep learning? Okay, and you understand how does the whole system works, because if you understand how does the whole system works, you can use it to do wherever you want. Okay, this is what makes the difference. You should know how does it works and then play with it in your hands. You can use it wherever you want because you understand how does it works. I can give you an example here. People who learn about brain or your mind, how does it works, the neurons, etc. These people knows the limits of the mind and knows the power of the mind or the brain. Okay, so they know there is power here, we should use it, and they understand how does it works, and then they apply it. They use it in their job, in the daily life, etc. But people who don't know there is a power here, they ignore it and they don't use it because they don't know their limits, their capacities, etc. So if you learn about AI, you will understand that there is a power there, and here is the limits of AI, and here is what AI can do for you. So if you understand and if you realize these things, you will have the ability and the capacity to use it to do wherever you want with it. Okay? And when I say wherever you want, I don't mean something bad. For sure, I'm talking about good things. Okay? So, guys, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you understand, or you came up only with one idea in this video. So thank you guys for your attention, and see you soon with another video.